What's going on, guys? Freddy here, and today I'm bringing you a GTA 5 video. And in this video I'm going to rank my top 10 favorite Benny's vehicles out of the 20. See, if you go to Benny and Travel and Transport, you can see that there are 20 different vehicles you can customize here. And they have some of all different classes. Muscles, sports, super, sports classics maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there's a ton of different classes, and me personally, my favorite stuff are really fun to drive, really good customization, and I don't really care about the price. So yeah, that's what I'm going off of, is really good customization and how fun they are to drive. So number 10 is the Vapid Slam Van Custom, and this truck is so cool because it has hydraulics, it has so many different liveries. Like, there's not a ton of them, but they're all so different. Like, there's a Bomber one, old Rusty Flames, Rusty, new Flames. There's like drag style, military style, old rundown truck style. I love it. You can take this truck in so many different directions. I kind of went for a race kind of style here. I got the spoiler in the back, and I got a roll cage in the back, and I put a little spoiler on like the front, on the top here, on the roof. And I have the exposed intake. So let's just take this for a little ride. So back in the beginning of GTA, not in the beginning of GTA, but whenever this truck first came out, it was like one of the fastest in its class, I'm pretty sure. Because, or it was insanely fast for something. Simeon, come on. You could like put the back down, and it would go a lot faster like this. I'm not sure why. It was some sort of glitch in the coding, but it made this truck even more fun to drive since it was so fast. But now I just personally love this because you can do stuff like this. You can have fun with the hydraulics, and also it just looks super cool. And you don't see that many driving around anymore. Whenever it first came out, there was a lot of people driving around with it, but yeah, that's why I like this one. That's why I put it at number 10. So let's get back to the garage and I'll show you my next one. My number 9 pick is the Faction Custom Donk. For obvious reasons, the Donk is awesome. The tires are so big, and it's a very tall vehicle because of the tires. And also, there's a lot of cool liveries. I chose the zebra one, but there's the cherry popper, all these advertisement ones, and they all just look really cool. And I have the zebra one with a dark gray and a purple pearlescent with the white accents. I like it a lot. The interior is pretty cool. Zebra with some like diamond, not like bedazzling, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I got white underglow and some white interior. So let's take this out on the road and show you why I like it. So here is the Faction Donk. So big. You can even make it taller by hitting the hydraulics. It gets a lot taller, actually. And something cool about this car is it can actually drive over other cars because its wheels are so big. It just drives right over them, just like a big sand dune or something like that. One of its problems, though, is it's not very fast, and I love fast cars in GTA more than vanity. That's why it's at number 9. And also with these rims, they just look like ridiculous. So let's get this back into the garage, and I'll show you my 8th pick. So my 8th pick is the Sabre Turbo Custom. This is such a fun car to drive. It looks awesome. There's a ton of customizations. It was the fastest in its class. It was the fastest muscle car for a while, I think. And yeah, on this one I have a deep red interior, which I think looks awesome, with this really nice red livery that... There's a lot of red liveries, actually. We got this one, we got the Flames one. Where's the Flames one? This livery is really cool, but I decided to not go with it. I went with this one on my last Sabre Turbo Custom, but I decided to change it up on this one and go with something kind of simple with this half gray, half like pinstripe one. And I like it a lot. I have this huge exhaust system on each side of the car, and that is one of my favorite parts as well. So let's take this outside and see how it drives. Okay, so now that we're outside, we can just see how fast this car actually is for being a lowrider. Most of the lowriders are slow, but this one got the good end of the stick. It's a muscle car, so it's naturally fast, and this one does not disappoint. When you have it jacked up like this, it is taller than the normal Sabre Turbo, and when you have it lower, it is much lower than the normal Sabre Turbo. So it's kind of like the Sabre Turbo, the normal one, is just right in between them. And I think this looks so cool, all the way lowered. This livery also goes really well with the color I chose, the dark red. Also, another plus about this one is it does have the hydraulics, so you can do cool stuff with them. Just mess around in like car shows and stuff. Hopping around. That's always cool. So let's get this back in my garage, and then I'll show you my next pick. So my car in the 7th spot in the countdown is my Sultan RS. Personally, this used to be a lot higher on my list, but the other cars that came out just beat it out by a little bit. So on mine, I have a cool red scheme again, and I didn't go too over the top with the livery because this car does have some crazy liveries, like this one. Like, in my opinion, this one kind of ruins it, but everybody has their own style. And my spoiler as well. Those are two things that you can go kind of crazy on this car. Like, this spoiler's insane. Same with this one. It kind of doesn't fit the car in my opinion. This one, no, that one doesn't really work at all. But like, I like these. These kind of look good right there, at the mid-range level. I might actually put that one on. Yeah, I'll throw that one on. But I don't like the huge, over-the-top ones usually. On some cars, I love them, but on this one, I go with like the slim look. I got the matte gray on the top and the metallic red for the body color with the red underglow. So let's just take this outside and see why it's in my top 7. So now that we're outside, we can see how fast this car is and how well it handles, and it sounds really good. It's overall just a really cool car, and it checks off most of the stuff and like what makes me like a car in GTA. It's actually super fun to drift with, even though that was a horrible drift. But it's really fun to take to the docks and stuff and just throw it around corners. Just like that. It's super fun. I wish GTA had a little bit better drift mechanic because your car seems to lose a lot of power once you get like through the drift. So I don't think they'll change that. Maybe in GTA 6, you never know. But yeah, let's get this back in the garage, and we'll see what's in the 6th spot in my top 10 list.
What can we do to it?
So in the 6th spot in the top 10, we have the Retro Comet. So this one is the opposite of the Sultan in the fact that it has a huge spoiler on the back. So I don't know if this is the reason, but I think when the car is smaller, I think the spoiler looks cooler if it's huge. Or maybe it's just because of the wide wheelbase. I don't know why I like it, but I think it looks really good. And also I have this cool sun strip on the windshield. I think that looks pretty nice. The livery fits it really well. It's like a little old stock race car. And we have this awesome bumper with all these splitters on it and everything. I actually threw the Benny's wheels on it, and I think they look pretty good with the black accent and the red rim of them. Also, we have a red underglow on this one, and yeah, this massive spoiler. So let's take it outside and see why it's in my top 10. Okay, so now that we're outside, we can just see how cool it looks whenever you're driving it. Like the back, the wheels are so wide for how small of a car it is. I think that looks really nice. One thing I don't like about it is its handling is not that great. It seems like it has a small turn, a big turning radius, and it sometimes understeers turns. But I think it just looks really cool. That's why it's most of the reason why it's in my top 10 is because it looks really cool. The spoiler, I just can't get enough of it, honestly. Also, it sounds nice. So this one really doesn't have that much to talk about it. So I'm just gonna put it back in the garage and let's see what's in number 5. We're in the top 5 now of my top 10 list.
What are we doing today? What are you after?
So in 5th place we have the Italy GTB Custom. So this is where it gets really close. The top 5 is all a very close race, and this car is one of my favorites. It looks so cool. All of it. I like it how short it is, like close to the ground you are, and the color schemes are really nice. The liveries, you can get some really cool like race themes, and all of them are like colors that I like. Like I wish they had a blue. Here's a blue livery, but it has some like, I don't like the red on it really. I don't know, maybe it could work, but I wish I had a better blue livery. And they have a lot of yellow and black, so that's what I went with. I went with a yellow, black, and white theme with this pretty big spoiler and the yellow rims. The yellow rims are kind of cool in my opinion. So let's take this outside and see why I like it. So again, the first thing we'll notice outside is how cool the back of it looks. So the taillights are really cool. They have like this cool wave that goes across the whole back of the taillight above the exhaust, and the splitter looks really nice. It all around looks really good from the back. Also with the wide wheelbase, I love that as well. And I personally think this spoiler is like the perfect size for this car, and it just looks really good on the back. And now for the biggest thing in my opinion is the speed. This thing is very fast and it has really good handling. You can just fly over hills like this and keep it controlled. And with cars like this, you have a good excuse kind of to make it really race car looking, because this could be a Formula 1 car for sure. Like you'd see this in a racing against Lamborghinis and P1s and stuff like that. I think this is a McLaren. I'm not sure though. I think this is like a version of a McLaren in real life, which I love McLarens. Not as much as Lambos though. Lambos are the best. Okay, so let's put this back in the garage and I'll show you what is in 4th place. We're all the way down to 4th place now. It's getting heated.
What were you looking for? Anything I can do? Anything at all?
So in 4th place we have the Banshee Spectre Custom, which is a very cool sedan in the sports class, and it has a lot of options for liveries and colors, and the spoilers are cool. It looks great from the back. She's got a nice butt on her. It's overall a really cool car, and to be in 4th place, it better be. So here's a look at the liveries. Here's a playing car, looks awesome still. We have a simple little stripe. Black fills, which fills this back end right here with black, and it fills the top, and it fills kind of like the check mark or the upside down Nike swoosh or whatever above the exhaust right there, which is cool. White fills, oh there we go, you can see it a lot better now. White fills all that up. The bumper, this simple racing stripe again. Now we're getting into the more race liveries. And I put this one on. I think it looks really cool with this one on. So that's what I'm going with. And I got the carbon fiber wheels with the little blue accent in the middle, which I think looks pretty cool. And the blue lights below. So, well, of course, we blacked out the windows. That's going to happen on like all my cars, the blacked out windows. So let's take this out and see why it's in my top 4. So, again, as you can see, as we get out, the wide wheelbase is awesome in my opinion, and it makes the car look really wide and fat for like no reason. I just like it how it's there. And the brake lights are also really cool. It has one that goes across the whole way, and then two main ones on each end. Something else that's cool is where the exhaust is. I think that's pretty unique to this car. I'm sure there's some other ones in GTA that have it right there, but I think that's really cool on this one. Also, it is very fast and has good handling. The only really problem I find with it is because it is so wide, it kind of has troubles squeezing through cars in like tight roads, like on the interstate or here, for example. But other than that, it's really fun to drive. It looks really cool. It's fast, and it's called the Spectre, I think, because it's supposed to be an Aston Martin, which is the car that James Bond always drives. I think that's a little cool too. So I'm gonna put this back in the garage, and I'll show you guys what's in the top 3. We're on number 3.
What can we do to it?
So in third place, we have the Banshee 900R. I think everybody loves the Banshee. This is such a cool car. It is a classic car in the GTA 5 franchise. It's been in like, I'm pretty sure all of them. And here I got a black and red color scheme again with a little red loop around the carbon fiber rim. I love that. And I got one of the simple liveries, so it's not too over the top. Most of the liveries on this car are really good. This is like the black camo-ish, like, and all the liveries keep the racing stripe down the middle. Besides this one, it takes it off the front and the back. Actually, you know what? It adds a black one. Okay, so I just couldn't see it here. But this livery is pretty cool. It's another race one. Same with that one. That's the camo one. And yeah, I just went with this one because it adds a lot, but it's subtle, kind of, if that makes any sense. This one's also really cool. This little line right there. One thing that's really a standout feature of this car is the front bumper. The front bumper has this really big splitter on it, where this is the default one, right? And you can go all the way down to this crazy front bumper right here. And I love it just because how crazy it is. So, also, another crazy thing is the spoiler. So, this was one of the first Benny's Customs vehicles that wasn't a lowrider. And the spoiler is a first as well. These two spoilers right here are like bolted onto the frame. And they just look ridiculous. So that's why I got it on here. It looks ridiculous. And you gotta appreciate it. Maybe I'll put that one on there. That one's actually bigger. So yeah, I'm going with the bigger one. More ridiculous, the better. So I'm going to take this to the ground and show you guys why it's in my top 3. So now that we're on the ground, you can see again that the wide wheelbase, I love those cars. Most of them in my top 10 are wide wheelbases like that, but most of them in Benny's are wide wheelbases. So yeah, that's one thing I love about this car. The spoiler out here, you can see it in all its glory of how crazy it is. Going all the way down the back of the car. And the racing stripe, I think, is a really good touch on this car. It's supposed to model a Dodge Viper, and the Dodge Viper comes with like a racing stripe on it, which is a really good attention to detail. Also, when we're out here, we can see the bumper is equally impressive outside of the custom shop. And here, I'll let you guys look inside. If my character doesn't close the door again. Okay, here we go. I didn't do too much to change the interior, but I did change the dash up a bit, and the doors, I made them carbon fiber. So yeah, overall, I love the Banshee 900R. I love the normal Banshee as well, but 900R is way better than the normal one. So I'm gonna put this back in the garage, and I'll show you what is number 2 on the list of the top 10 Benny's custom cars. Yes, so in number 2, we have the Skyline GTR, the Elegy Retro Custom. And it is such a beautiful car in this game. I'm glad that they did it this way. It's transformed into the GTA world so well. And I went with a black and yellow theme on this one, with the 2 racing stripes down the middle. This car is very customizable. The one thing I wish was a little more customizable was the bumper, the front bumper. It kind of lacks, but I mean, it's fine. I like it anyway. You get a few options, like this one is kind of ridiculous. I like the more ridiculous the better with Bennies, honestly, in my opinion. And also you can add another ridiculous spoiler on the back, which I did because, you know, spoilers, we gotta have them. And on this car you can get some really cool exhaust in the back. I got two really big open mufflers on the back, and this cool rear splitter on the back bumper, which is pretty good touch. And I blacked out the windows, of course. So let's take this outside and I'll show you why it's in my top 10. So I don't think this car is really known for its customizations. It really speaks through its raw ability to drive. And this is a four-wheel drive car, which makes it very good, very, very good. And it is very high up in the sports car class. It compete in races to drive. This car has such a good performance in real life that they have transferred over into GTA, which is very good. And it stands high in the sports class for races, so you can actually use this in races, which makes it that much more of a good car. And same with the Banshee. I didn't really mention that, but the Banshee is very good for races, so that also jacks it up on the list a little higher as well. And this car is, one thing that's great about it is it's got a wide wheelbase with the jacked out flare, the flared fenders like that, like the other cars did. But it's still like a thin car, so you can easily squeeze your way through traffic, which is very fun to do. So yeah, with that being said about the GTR, I will take it back in the garage and I will show you my #1 pick, followed by a couple honorable mentions. And for the #1 pick, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this one coming, the Nero Custom. This car, man, this car is incredible. It has so many good customizations, and it is insanely fast, and those are my top 2 things that make me like a car. So, you have bumper options, you have spoiler options, a lot of different like hood options, roof options. It's just such a good customization car. Here, I'll let you guys see the liveries real fast. We have a cool red race theme, green race theme, teal, red. There's like a lot of different colors you can use for whatever color scheme you want on your car. I use the blue livery, and you have a white one that's the same. But yeah, I chose the blue one for this blue and white theme car. So yeah, and I got the blue around the wheels, the blue lights under it, the blacked out windows, and most importantly, the white interior to match the back. And again, we gotta look at the spoilers. The spoilers on this car are cool as well. We have this one, the really obnoxious GT spoiler. We have this one. It's a cool looking nice spoiler. Nice one, nice one, another nice one, another nice. They're all nice, honestly. But I use this stock one that matches the body paint, which I like a lot. Connects to the roof and looks really well. Looks really well. It looks really good. So I'm going to exit to the ground and show you guys why this is #1 on my list. Okay, so at first glance you can notice that it's not like a wide flared out body like the other ones were. But that doesn't really matter to me as much as the speed does, because this car is insanely fast and I still think it looks really cool. So I'm taking this on the interstate to really show it off. The blue underglow is looking really good right now in the night at nighttime. This car is just incredibly fun to just weave through traffic and get places very fast. And also, this is competitive in the supercar class, so that's another really good reason it's in my top 10, is because I can use it in races and free mode, and it looks awesome. It's fast, fun to drive. All together, in my opinion, the best Benny's vehicle that you can get. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to take this back to the garage and show you guys an honorable mention that didn't make the top 10, but is still a very, very cool car.
What were you looking for? Anything I
Yes, the honorable mention is the Moonbeam. This van made it the honorable mention because it was the first van that people actually drove around. No one ever drove around any van before this one because there was really no reason to. But this one's awesome because you can get some really, really cool speakers in it. Look at how many speakers are on the back of this one. And also, it's a lowrider, so you have the hydraulics, speakers, all the cool customizations, the livery, and the interior. Just makes this van very cool to drive, very cool to have, and that is why it made it into my honorable mention slot. I'm not going to drive this around because it's really not very fun to drive, but yeah.
Whatever you desire.
And yes, I know I didn't mention either of the two bikes. I have those two. Here's one of them, and here's the other one. They're cool, but I'm not really a bike person. I don't ride too many bikes. When I do, I ride the Shotaro and the Hikachu Drag, which are much faster than these, and I think they're both cooler too. They really didn't do that good of a job, in my opinion, on the bikes for Bennies, but they're still cool in general. So yeah, that's going to be all for my top 10 Bennies vehicles in GTA 5. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching this far. And if you did enjoy, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. It's been Freddy. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.